And welcome in Shovingers to another episode of Shovick Sports. This is just a little catching up with the Shovicks part 2. We'll pick up where we left off last week. You see we have a couple very special guests with us. You all know Tim. Tim's been a regular, and he's also a co-host of the AFC West War Room. And above him, we have John from the Pitch Grid podcast, who has been doing really, really good content. John, give us your background and kind of tell us why you got into creating the sports stuff.
Well, hi, thanks for having me. I mean, honestly, I grew up with my grandfather and my uncle. My uncle coached a lot of baseball. He coached several Braves players like Chipper Jones.
Oh, I actually met Chipper Jones.
Nice.
And Brian McCann and a couple of them in high school. When they were into baseball cards. Baseball was my first love. Collected baseball cards for much as
I think we're getting a little bit of a technical issue here going on with John. Timmy, you can hear us, right?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
All right, so we'll get John back.
Could.
We'll get John back on here as he kind of works on the technical issues. Timmy, you said you met Chipper Jones.
Yeah, man. So I used to actually live in Georgia for a little bit.
Gathered all the books I could, all about NFL or baseball.
Yeah, let's mute him real quick and then go ahead, Timmy.
Yeah, so I used to live in I used to live in Georgia, down actually probably an hour or so from Atlanta, and I got to go to a baseball game because this couple, it was an older couple, they won the tickets like in a giveaway or something. Like they were like caller number 5. I don't remember how it was. And they're like, hey, we're not going to be able to make it. Would you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I want to go. It was literally right above the home dugout. And I was like, Chipper. And he he came over and he talked like everybody says he's a real a-hole. But I mean, that's just because he's in the game, right? You know, like NFL players, basketball players, they all just get in the zone. And but no, he really did. He threw a ball to the guy to my left. And I was like, dude, this is really cool. And so yeah, I got to meet Chipper Jones. He actually talked in between innings with us and everything else. So, I mean, it was really fun.
Yeah.
Welcome back, John.
Yeah, welcome back. And don't worry, technical issues happen to everybody regularly. So,
hey, you are clear now, though. I will say that.
Yeah, you are a lot more clear now.
Okay, cool. I don't know what I did different.
Yeah. So you were telling us that baseball was your first love. You had a chance to baseball cards and that someone was coaching Chipper Jones and Brian McCann.
Yeah, that was my uncle. So my family, my mom's side of the family is from the Atlanta area, and my uncle coached high school baseball. My grandfather taught in that area as well as a math teacher. They just got me into sports, and they were Braves and Falcons fans. I was born in that area, but then I moved to Kansas, became a Chiefs and Royals fan, and just tried to follow whenever my grandfather brought a newspaper or whatever. Because I didn't really grow up with a TV or anything. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of followed through a newspaper, just soaked all the information I could from library books. And yeah, I just took it off from there, really. When we moved to Kentucky, I started listening to Chiefs games on my tablet. And yeah, I just really tried to soak as much information as I could up. And yeah, I get obsessive about different sports. Mm-hmm. So my current obsession is soccer. And yeah, so any sport I get obsessed with, I kind of just go all in on.
Yeah, no, that's kind of why we do it. We love sports. Timmy kind of nails it on the head every time we are doing shows with him about we're passionate at what we do, right? So there's a reason we all started doing videos, blogs, posting, it's because we starve for sports, right? It's kind of just one of those things where, you know, I know we had a question last night on the War Room about, hey, other than, you know, the sports stuff, what's on your 4E kind of stuff, and Timmy's like, well, it's kind of just, it's really sports. So
Yeah.
It really is. Like,
it was an upfront and honest answer, and it's just like, hey, you know, I know I have friends who were all about, you know, cars and trucks and all this, and I was just like, no, I want to watch a game. I want to, you know, I want to see who's in the lineups. I want to see who's the quarterback and stuff like that. So it's really cool to hear kind of your story and kind of where you got it and started going on that. So, Bro, do you have anything to add?
No, I think it's really awesome. I'm glad his time in Kansas. I'm glad I could get, you know, fellow Chiefs somewhere in around here, right? We've come across a lot of Chiefs hate, but I do want to say, speaking of the Royals, our boy Jack Caglione got his first 2 home runs today. So
Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
big time. So
wait, I thought you was a Cubs fan.
I am. Royals are my second.
No.
Yeah, that's how that works. That's like the hometown team.
No, get out of here, bro.
So how I always explain it, right, is like if the Cubs Royals met in a World Series, I would 100% be going for the Cubs. Like that's how that works, but I can still pay attention and enjoy the Royals.
Fair enough. I mean, that's your
You know,
prerogative.
they're not rivals, they're not division opponents, nothing like that. Now, if I said I was a Cubs fan and a Cardinals fan, you guys could probably just decapitate me because that's like illegal. But nothing wrong with enjoying some Royals. They sucked for so long it didn't matter, right? Both teams. So it's like, is anyone mad that I like 2 bad teams?
Right.
Yeah, I got a lot of
of
hate for being a Chiefs and Royals fan
Whoa.
just because they were so bad. And my
Your ex
family
does
isn't even
show
in
up over
sports.
here.
So let's kind of talk about, you guys have been doing something really cool this week. Timmy, kind of walk us through kind of what you guys have been doing and kind of what got that going.
Okay, yeah. So actually, it's more John He from the Pitch Grid Pod here. Him and Fun Football Podcast last week was doing their top 5 running backs of all time, and I seen how much fun it was, and you know, I reached out to John and sorry guys, for those that don't know, he introduced himself as John and put he in the chat on one of our streams. And I literally made the comment that I said, from here on out, I will address him as John he. So I'm not laughing because I'm saying his name, but that is why I say John he. But no, I reached out to him and I said, hey man, I wouldn't mind collabing with you and kind of, you know, doing something similar. And he actually came up with the idea of retro jerseys. And I was like, you know what? Nobody else is probably doing retro jerseys, right? So, and I'm going to say, man, I've had a lot of fun. You know, started at 5, the Patriot red, number 4, the Chargers powder blue, number 3, the Titan / Oilers retro. I thought it was baby blue. John he here said that he was actually informed that it's Columbia blue.
Yeah.
And so that was my number 3 today. Guys, it's on all the socials. Go check it out. It's a really good one. Nice little throwback. Huh?
Don't give it away tonight. I want everyone to make sure you guys go over to the socials. Make sure that you guys watch Tim and John He's post of those retro videos. Guys, I'm telling you, it's been awesome. They're really fun to watch. And I believe you guys are also working on receivers as well, right?
Yeah, so we are doing receivers as well with the Fun Football Podcast. Isaac from the Fun Football Podcast. I put T.O. at 5. I put Megatron at 4. 3 was Mr. Hands himself, Larry Fitzgerald. And 2 has not been released yet. So be lookout on all the socials later tonight as I reveal my number 2.
John, what's kind of that process been like, kind of being able to go back through and, you know, I know some people think retro jerseys, man, that sparks memories for some old school sports fans, right? I was telling Timmy last night, Patriots jerseys, and so it was kind of just like, what's that been like for you, kind of just being able to go back and look at some of these?
You know, it's interesting, right? Because I'm more of a analytical, historical person, so like I love history and like studying different weird stuff about sports history, and it just looking like, okay, so I did number 5 for me was the Oilers, right? So all I was thinking of was Earl Campbell, Warren Moon, the '93 Oilers, right? '93 Oilers is one of the more dysfunctional teams in NFL history, right? And yet somehow they had all that talent and were incredibly dysfunctional. And then you had number 4, I had the Creamsicles. I mean, when I think Creamsicles, I think, you know, the the Doug Williams, the Steve Youngs, and just to me, it's crazy. Tim and I were talking about it in the comments about. I was just saying how crazy is it got so much hate. And nowadays, it's like those are beloved throwbacks, right? And I know it's because the team was awful and they didn't win in those jerseys, but like, goodness, they're so clean. I don't know why. I guess like on an older TV, it would probably look awful, but like, I don't know. It just, to me, it feels like such clean jersey. And then number 3 for me was the Orange Crush Broncos, which I know you will appreciate.
Absolutely.
Be, I did it, and when I do that, I was thinking Orange Crush defense. Now, I don't know what you all think about the Orange Crush defense. I think it's one of the more underrated defenses in NFL history. We talk about Steel Curtain. We talk about, the Ravens of '01. We talk about the '85 Bears. No one really mentions the Orange Crush. I don't know why. Because that was like a phenomenon. Like, it's them and also like the Falcons. I forget the nickname for that one. But the Falcons in like '77 or something like that also had a defense that's not really talked about. And I just I don't know why people don't talk about that one more often, because it was a blitz heavy defense that suffocated opponents. And yeah, so whenever I just go through these jerseys, I'm thinking, okay, what is something I could connect historically to, right? Or a player or something like that. And that's kind of where I go from there.
Yeah, and it brings up good memories
for the
of those
people that don't know. For the people that don't know, here, Corey, if you don't mind.
Oh,
the Orange Crush jersey right there. Look at that. Would you look at it? Just look at it. I mean, the Orange Crush, it is an iconic jersey, even though it's a division rival. You got to appreciate that jersey. So,
and I will say, I love the fact that Denver's bringing those back slowly but surely.
Yes.
Obviously,
yes.
we wore them a couple games last year, and man, not gonna lie, seeing some of our guys in those old school jerseys is kind of just like, damn, I'd really like to see Denver kind of maybe go back to making those their permanents. But at the same time, you don't want to overuse them, right? Like, you don't want to, that's set with that era, right? Now you got to start your own new era. I'm not a big fan of the newer jerseys that they've gone to, but I'm loving the fact that I think they're wearing those for a couple divisional games again this season. But yeah, so Timmy, thanks for sharing that one.
I was just sitting here and he was talking about it, and I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I don't have to worry about notes. I don't have to worry about the show. This is like a fun, relaxed episode.
Yes,
I've actually got, I've upgraded my setup a little bit, so I am no longer limited on my laptop. Like, I have my monitor here, and so I can still see you guys. I can be over on my laptop typing. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna pull up a picture of the Orange Crush jerseys, and I actually forgot that you could do that. So I was like, hey, I'm just gonna be like, hey, present that.
The things we're still learning about shooting guard, huh? So it's good. So no, I've been enjoying watching you guys post not just the retro jerseys but also the receivers. It really is fun. So I do encourage those watching, make sure you guys go look these up. Go find them on all the socials. Answer the call on Instagram and X. I believe you're posting it on YouTube as well. And then
yes.
John with the Pitch Grid Pod, go find that on. I believe you're posting them on the same ones.
Yep, pretty much everywhere, the same places. just tagging him.
Yeah. So make sure you guys go watch those and give them a follow. So go subscribe to their channels as well. Again, they're not
I've got
going
a
to
bombshell
reveal.
for number 2 tonight.
Hey,
Oh,
can't wait to see that. I know number 2s are dropping later on this evening.
big fan of bombshells.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Hey, I cannot wait till tomorrow. Like I've been sitting here, like as soon as I released my number 2 retro jersey, I was just sitting here. I was like, oh, I wish it was Friday because I am ready to reveal my number 1. I'm super pumped. Like there was no question. I was like, this is my number 1. And then I literally just put everything else around it. I'm super pumped. I can't wait. It'll be dropping tomorrow, guys. Be on the lookout. So
Are you going to do some like grand finale, like big
Confetti,
time?
like confetti drop.
oh, dude, you're putting a lot of pressure on me right now, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if it's number 1, it's got to be some jazz it up a little bit. So
I might wear my good shirt tomorrow.
Ooh,
everyone watch out. I don't know if everyone's ready for that yet, Timmy. We've got to ease everyone into that, right?
Oh yeah. I'll just come in my birthday suit.
Oh, hey.
I think I'm gonna skip out on number 1.
I'm kidding. I won't be in my birthday suit.
I was like, I think I'll just pass. I'll wait until somebody tells me.
I don't want to lose followers and views. So
Yeah,
better be a damn good jersey, all right.
Hey, Corey. Though, I mean, come on now. Like you're just gonna like sit here and not tell the amazing people that are watching what we got brewing up for next week.
You kind of led me into it. We were gonna slowly get into that.
Oh no! I want to go all in,
and I wanted to make sure you guys were able to kind of get your stuff out there as well. But no, inspired me seeing you guys do the top 5. So I was texting Timmy, and I was like, I think I got an idea for it. Let's do our top 5 favorite college stadiums for football. So starting Monday, Timmy and I will start with number 5 and do our top 5 favorite college football atmospheres.
Hey, Timmy, do you want to do a top 5 Chargers choke jobs?
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'll save that for Wednesdays. I'm just messing.
I was like, this ain't the war room, bro. Don't come at me because
continue on with the college stadiums.
Man, so much for being a laid back show.
Yeah.
Man.
Like if I didn't have my hat on, that vein would be busted right now.
Yeah, that's all I strive for on these episodes, people.
So no, we are going to do the unique thing, and I told Tim, I was like, man, it's your favorite, like it's your top 5 favorite college stadiums. If you want to put a small JUCO on there, by all means, go for it. He won't, obviously, or maybe he will. I don't know, but it's unique to you.
Welch Stadium and Emporia, Stingers up, baby.
Yeah. And I think that's what I love so much about these lists is it's your top 5s, right? Like you're gonna have people who agree, you're gonna have people who don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's still my number 5 is my number 5. That's kind of the point. You agree or you don't. That's the fun part of this. Speaking of, Timmy, how many people did not agree that Phillip Rivers was the best quarterback to not win a Super Bowl?
There was actually quite a bit. I'm actually really shocked. I'm not gonna lie. That post on X is at like 194,000 views.
So before you go on, everyone congratulate Timmy. That was a great post, honestly. And it's one of those where it's extremely valid, right?
Yeah, it's a fair. Everyone says it's obviously Dan Marino, but I think it's a lot closer than people think.
Right.
It is a lot closer. It's a lot closer than people think.
Hey, so I just want to say, like, okay, so Isaac, from Fun Football Podcast, I was like, hey man, my X numbers are just terrible. I see, you've got the following and you get a lot of views. What can I do different? And he gave me a few pointers, and so I think it was Father's Day, was it not, when I released that? It was on Father's Day.
Yes,
Sunday?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was just sitting here and I was like, what is going to get people's attention? Hey, what's up, Jonathan? How you doing, man? Sports for you in the house. Let's go.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I was just kind of sitting there. I was like, what is going to be like a great topic of debate on a good Father's Day Sunday? And I was like, what better post to make than the guy that has almost more kids in the NFL than anybody else, right? Philip Rivers himself. And I was like, is he not the greatest to never win a Super Bowl? And I was like, I think we'll see what happens. I actually didn't expect it to take off like it did. And it was actually really funny because Isaac messaged me. I was taking my daughter back to her mom's and he messaged, he's like, dude, it got 100,000 views. I was like, okay. And he's like, no, I'm for real. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm driving, And so then I think it was, what was it? Tuesday night or something or Monday, that Monday, it was like already at like 170,000.
Yep.
Hey, I do want to say though, I do have one cooked up for this weekend, and I saved it for the weekend for this reason. Like, I think it's gonna be great.
Smart.
Dude, I had a couple ones I thought were gonna do well, but man.
Hey, so one thing that Isaac did tell me is like proper grammar, punctuation. Like for some reason, X like really looks at that and like it, because like I almost put a question mark instead of a period, and he's like, no, put a period, not a question mark. I was like, he's like, no, just trust me. I'm like, no, I trust you. You got 10,000 followers on X. Like, I'm definitely going to trust you. And sure enough, like, I did. And so, punctuation and proper grammar. So, don't put if you want to talk ball.
Yeah.
I tried to copy you and ask if Tyler Thigpen was, but it didn't quite take off.
Well, I mean, not too many.
I mean, we all know that answer,
anyway.
though.
Hey, come on. Thiggy Nation, y'all, come on.
Chat, tell us.
That's like saying if Kyle Orton's the best Broncos quarterback ever.
Well, yeah.
Hey, welcome in, Matt. Let's go.
Yeah.
What's up, Boss Potato?
Hey,
let's go.
Hey, better late than never, my guy.
Let's see.
Whoa, strap up and strap on.
Strap up and strap on, yes.
I'll do step one.
Hang on. Time out. John, we gotta end this debate right now. Was it you or was it Sundays Are for the League that came up with that?
So the short story is I tuned into their live stream while I was editing one of my episodes.
Okay.
And they were doing their Madden stream, and he makes a comment. He says, "Strap up and strap on." And I said,
so he originally said it.
Well, he just said it in passing, and I just said it's the title of an adult film.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put that. Thank you.
And he's like, "Say that again."
He's like, whoa.
I'm sorry, I had to because we seen it in the group chat. We seen it in the sports podcasters on Instagram, right? And I was like, "That's an interesting saying, right?" And
then
I was like, maybe
we started using it to refer to how the Steelers were playing in their game, and so we were just it could be a bumpy ride, but we're gonna get there eventually.
Wow. Yeah. No, I had to. I'm sorry, Corey. I had to take over on that one for a second because, like, I seen that and I was like, oh my god, like I've seen this like 5 times today. So
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. I appreciate you, Timmy, for.
Hey, like if anything else, like I'm going to ask questions that nobody else will. Okay.
Hey, y'all tune into the stream tonight. We'll be strapping on.
Well, in that case.
Hey, you should just change that to your YouTube title and see how many views you get.
Oh, wow. Man. Get yourself booted off.
Yeah, you get banned from YouTube.
Kurt, do it. Kurt, do it.
If I do, I'll just
when I get to that live stream, it better have that name on it.
All night long.
Well, hey,
all right.
What are we doing here?
This is Shovick Sports, not Shovick Sports Late Night.
Hey, so I actually got a funny story. I got a funny story for y'all. Okay, so as you guys know, as I have said with the brothers many times, I used to be a video game streamer. Okay, and when I was, my channel was based off of personality. I was never good at the game. 3 guys, 6 balls hasn't been banged yet. There you go.
Fair.
So
If you were 3
I was
guys,
never like super competitive at the games, right? And so I would do fun ways. Well, I had like these lights that would go around me. Whoa. Hey, viewers are viewers, you know?
Yeah, man.
Those are viewers.
There's no such thing as a viewer.
But so like I had my ring light and stuff right here, and it was like different colors, but like the room was kind of so dark that whatever color the ring light was what color, like kind of like my face just lit up, like red, green, blue. Well, when the chat was just getting real dirty, I would flip it to the red light and be like, we're in the red light district now.
Hey. Yeah. So again, guys, thank you guys for commenting and chatting in the chat. I do want to know you guys' thoughts though. Is Phillip Rivers the best quarterback to not win a Super Bowl? I think I say it's, and you say it was closer than people were kind of making it. Just go back and read Timmy's post on X. You'll see some comments in there, and you're like, well,
including Adam Rank.
Including Adam Rank. Let's not forget about that one.
Adam Rank, yes. I got Adam Rank to comment on my X. Like, let's go.
I'm serious though. Adam Rank has some of the more terrible takes at NFL Network. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, I love Adam Rank. I guess I can't say like,
dude.
I love his like
to go 14-2 at one point with Derek Carr.
He is a fantasy guy, so
that's true.
Yeah, I used to watch his predictions when he did those on YouTube a lot, and I was just floored when he did 14-2 for Derek Carr in his rookie year.
Let's see what else we got. I made the case that he was almost unbeatable in December. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I get it. It's just, yes, everyone knows Dan Marino. Everyone wants to say it's Dan Marino, but at the same time, it's like you still have to respect what Phillip Rivers did.
Yeah, people were kind of just blowing it like it was crazy, right? Like how could you even ask that? But I think there's a legitimate debate.
I have a question for anybody that has ever said Dan Marino. Jim Kelly, I mean, yeah, he got to 4 Super Bowls, but he never won one. So, how many quarterbacks played with a partially torn ACL back then and still was competitive and still almost led their team to the playoff win? Oh, yeah, I don't think Dan Marino did.
I thought he did.
That's my art. Phillip Rivers did for sure.
Dan Marino probably played permanently concussed back in those days.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ray Finkel cost him.
Ray Finkel.
Yeah,
come on, guys. We know the real answer is Tyler Shuck.
That's
what you're talking about.
See?
That's almost worse than saying Jerry Jones is the best owner in football. I mean,
okay. Hear me out. Trent Green.
Oh.
You say what? Trent Green?
Yeah.
Are we still talking about the quarterback?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
He will go under as a good quarterback to never win, but he is nowhere near a tier of Phillip Rivers and Dan Marino.
And I know they had really good offenses in those days with the Chiefs and what he was able to do with like Priest Holmes, Tony Gonzalez.
And even before that.
Are you talking like back with like the Rams?
Yeah, well, no, because he only played that 1 year with the Rams and he got hurt by Ronnie Harrison. But before that, when I think he was a Redskin or Commander.
Yeah, it was Washington.
So,
well, you might as well put Jake Plummer in there for throwing Trent Green in the mix.
Hey, Matt, you know what I'm about to say. If we're throwing these dudes out there, it's my boy Tim Tebow.
Well, no.
No, I already told Matt I'm dying on the Tebow hill. I will defend him in every quarterback conversation I can.
Not as
okay, Skip Bayless.
Okay, yes, so back to the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
About Jerry Jones being the best owner in football.
Yeah.
No, we all know it's Mr. Davis's haircut.
It could be Davis' haircut.
Nothing beats Mark Davis's haircut.
Nothing.
We're saying best owner currently or in history?
Date of getting Tim Tebow. That's all I'm going for. I had, man crush or whatever.
Tebow mania, baby. Oh my gosh, here we go.
I guess I am strapping on, boys.
Oh God.
What are you strapping up?
Well, I guess I got to strap up first.
What
Yeah,
do
you
we-
gotta strap up and then strap on.
So
Oh,
if you're just now tuning in, thank you for joining us tonight. As you see, we have two very special guests with us. John Hehe from the Pitch Grid Pod. You all are very familiar
yes.
with Timmy. Tim's from the Answer the Call and a co-host with us on the AFC West War Room.
That is
Getting the-
answer the call COLL. Don't get it confused with ALL.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
I did
At
the
least
first time I
there
ever
is.
looked you up, dude.
What
Huh?
do we got here? Look
The
at this
first
guy.
time I ever looked you up
Yeah,
on
did
YouTube, I just instinctively did CALL instead of COLL.
Yeah.
I
So
think
those that don't know,
know.
call. I mean, you can see it on my name, Collins. It's my last name, and so I just like answer the call. But I wanted to spell it just like my last name, so it's unique. I stand
Yeah.
out. I guarantee you, there's not another
Dude,
podcast
it's
with
cool. I
that.
like it. It's
And I see Cody in the chat. Cody, welcome.
I mean, dude, I don't think
Other
anyone is gonna
co-host.
ever take the pitch grid.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
What else we got?
Yeah, well,
popping
no
in
one
here?
will ever take the Shovick Sports either. So,
All right. So there was some
okay,
news.
so I don't know. Greatest owner. I mean, at one point, yeah, he was right because I mean, look what he
Yeah.
did with the Cowboys. The problem is he doesn't like push. He doesn't like to get pushed back on. And the Cowboys are going to continue this stupid little cycle that they're on. Sorry, Joel. Sorry, Matt, that's a Cowboys fan. Sorry for any other Cowboys fans. But you guys are stuck in this cycle, right? Like you get hyped for the season. This is our year. Something stupid happens. You don't make the playoffs, or you make the playoffs, lose first round. And then the offseason happens. You don't really do anything. Then draft happens. And you're just stuck on repeat. And that, like Joel said on the 3 Guys 6 Balls podcast episode, I mean, it's just going to kind of be like that until Jerry Jones is no longer. And unfortunately, that's probably going to take him, croaking before he's not the owner. And we don't wish that on anybody. So, Cowboy fans, you've got like probably another 10, 15 years of absolute sucking.
Okay, hear me out though.
All right.
Paul
well,
Brown.
that's a close one. Yeah. I mean, what is he? I mean, you can seriously argue, what has he really done? Nothing, right? I mean, and where
He's a cheapskate, pure and simple.
I mean, and it's showing it now too. Like they haven't gotten any better, right?
Dude,
So it's
have you
kinda-
heard the story what he did at the Super Bowl?
I didn't hear anything. I can't
So-
say that I follow too much of him.
So what happened? He said, literally on the way back from the Super Bowl loss, okay, we need to go home because it's cheaper to fly now than flying tomorrow. So we need to go on. And so he got them on the cheapest bus possible, got them boarded on the plane that night, and went back to Cincinnati.
That's true. He is giving his cheerleaders a nice raise, but I mean, still, I'm not sure. Let's kind of transition over. There was a big signing yesterday. Jair Alexander going from the Packers over to the Ravens. I don't want your guys' thoughts on this. Mine's pretty simple. It's a win-win, right? Like it was a 1 year. It was a very reasonable deal. If he's hurt, their secondary is already pretty good. They're young. They drafted Malachi Starks to go with Kyle Hamilton, Nate Wiggins, Humphreys. So, I mean, if he's there, great. If not, I mean, you're not really out much, essentially. So, John, go ahead and start us off with your thoughts on Alexander signing with Baltimore.
Okay, so after thinking about it for a bit, I do think it's great. Like, he's 28, so he's in the physical prime of his career, right? But I was thinking, why would he sign if he's not going to start? Because, okay, remember all the narrative going into this whole drama is he wants the max, right? He wants the full contract extension. He wants the absolute max for a corner. Well, then he goes and signs a 1-year, $6 million deal to go to Baltimore. So it makes me think that either he's just that happy to leave Green Bay, or there's a plan. I'm wondering if it's going to be a rotation system, where maybe because Wiggins hasn't proven himself yet, right?
Mhm.
He's shown promise, but at the same time, he isn't fully there yet. So, I mean, not only is Alexander there to mentor him and Humphrey, and I do question Humphrey's coverage skills at times, but anyways, I wonder if it's going to be a rotation between him and Wiggins, because surely you're not going to just bring him in for $6 million and have him sit on the bench.
That's a fair point, and I think what it really does is it may be able to slot Wiggins into the slot as a slot corner. And I know it doesn't hurt that he was obviously teammates with Lamar, and then
Right.
I had mentioned on Cody. Cody had his live show with Drew the other night, and they were kind of talking about it. And I said the Ravens. I thought the Vikings. I thought the Vikings would have been a better fit just based on what they actually may have a small need at corner, and I thought he would have a chance to play the Packers twice a year. So wrong purple team, I suppose, signing with Baltimore. Timmy, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I really think that's a good move for, the Baltimore Ravens. If he can stay healthy, and like our man Matt here said, the secondary was dead by week 8 last season, so he'll be a big boost for them if he stays healthy. And I do want to say that, yeah, if he stays healthy, and we get the Jair Alexander that really kind of took the league by storm, this is a great move for Baltimore. And having depth at secondary is never a issue, right? I mean, look at what the Chiefs did a few years ago when they had, their 2 stud corners and what they were able to do. Because in this league, in the NFL, not many teams have a great second corner, let alone a good, at least a good third corner. So what this will do is, if the Ravens really trust their front 7 or front 4, I guess you could say, to really just attack the offensive line and get to the quarterback, then they can run a lot more like nickel. Like you said, put one of those in the slot, figure out which guy is going to be better in the slot and then just kind of have that guy be the slot corner, and maybe you switch them out, and whoever's faster at getting to the quarterback can be a blitzer. So it's never a bad thing to have too many corners in the NFL. Because, I mean, the Chiefs showed, and look what the Eagles did with their secondary last year, So having a good secondary really helps a great pass rush, because when they're doing their job, it makes it easier for the secondary. So it makes the secondary look a lot better than maybe what they are. But, yeah, a lot of teams don't have the 2 stud corners, let alone having 3. So this is a good problem for the Baltimore Ravens to have, I think.
Also, this puts a ton of pressure on the Ravens to win this year.
It does, and I think there's always added pressure to the Ravens either way. As long as Lamar's your quarterback, there's always going to be that pressure of, is this finally the time he's going to get over the hump? Is this the time where he's going to be able to get to the Super Bowl? I'm
speculating on my show, if they don't win it this year, is John Harbaugh on the hot seat?
Never.
No. Hey, so I do want to point out real quick that PFF has Marlon Humphrey ranked as the number 5 slot corner in the NFL. So
yeah,
you were saying Jair Alexander playing slot. Well, no, Jair Alexander, I think, would still and Wiggins would still play the outside and move Humphrey to the inside to where he can kind of play more zone coverage, which would benefit him more, I feel like.
That's what I'm thinking, because Humphrey is so versatile, he can play either way. And so it's not really a problem that he can go into the slot, whereas Wiggins has shown he needs some mentoring, some development, and Alexander could definitely be that.
Yeah, I
And
think
if
it's a
he
win-win
doesn't
for the
work out,
Ravens and Alexander. I think Ravens with Alexander, that gives them 4 playable corners because a name to watch out for is TJ Tampa.
Okay.
yes.
He was a stud in college. He's been baking in their kind of practice squad, kind of deep on the rotation, and he's been kind of standing out. So that gives you what Timmy said, 3 good corners, and I think TJ Tampa is going to emerge as like a nice 4th corner,
Well,
and that'll be a nice thing to have. But
and not only that,
when
they have Ronnie Lott and Ronnie Harrison in the flesh as their safeties. So
yeah, they got 2 great safeties too. So they really do. They are set, but this is one where if Jai Alexander stays healthy and is even a fraction of himself when he was, $6 million is a steal. This is also a nice prove it deal for Alexander to be on a good team surrounded by good players and a good culture to where if he comes out and does well and stays healthy, he can get that one more payday next year. So I think it's smart for both sides. He probably could have taken a lot more money on other teams, maybe some lesser teams, but I think he understands that he has a chance to shine out when everyone else around him is better. And Baltimore Ravens, barring any catastrophic injury or blow up, will be making a decent playoff run. So he'll get a lot of exposure. So I think
I
it's a
wanted to
win-win.
address what Matt said down there. The Chiefs could have got him, but they don't. A, they don't have the cap. B, also, I think they're pretty satisfied with Chris Fulton, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, and Joshua Williams. I think they're okay with that.
Yeah, and then the rookie Noah Williams. I do think from a fan standpoint, you're still not very comfortable after McDuffie, just because we had Watson and Williams last year, and we still saw how, I don't want to say bad, but inconsistent, right?
Well, that's why I would say Fulton.
Yeah, I mean, he was a Charger. Who really knows what to expect, honestly? Who knows if he actually does well in Spags? Spags has a lot of corners.
And I will say
Who
that
are we talking about? Kendall Fulton?
Chris Fulton.
Christian.
yeah, and I'm reading that a lot of good things are coming out with Spags and how he's planning on utilizing him. So again, it's camp, so we really take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, they're not going up against much, but at the end of the day, Steve Spagnuolo is still one of the better, if not the best, D coordinator in the NFL right now, and he'll get the best out of all these guys. I mean, they've always had the next man up mentality. They've been down corners before. They've been down safeties before, and the next guys came in and they panned out just fine. So depth was a little bit of a concern for the Chiefs, but I do think Adam Fulton helps.
And then even the Noel Williams that they drafted, there's a little bit of hype around him. He started out a little rough, but I heard he's had a nice little bounce back and starting to show some promise. So I agree. Like, first of all, the cap space, right? There's more. You got some extensions you need to work out and try to figure out the cap space as is. So yeah, it's one that typically a corner I would be all for because I love defense and corners are important. But this isn't one I'm too sad about, just given, we do have some young promising players and maybe more needs if we were to waste a little bit of money. So not one I'm sad about, even though he did end up on the Ravens. That's kind of one of the, not rivals, but one of the bigger competitors as far as another Super Bowl run.
It is interesting that D-Hop went there too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's kind of where you were spot on with that earlier of, hey, the pressure is going to mount for the Ravens. And I think, obviously, like I was mentioning, they always have pressure, but now it's added up with just a little bit more because some of these moves you're not making unless you think these are the missing pieces. Do I think DeAndre Hopkins was a missing piece? Maybe. I still think at the end of the day, it comes down to Lamar and the decisions Lamar is making in the postseason because we've seen, he struggles at times in the postseason trying to make one too many plays. But now you bolster the defense up just a little bit to maybe get you that one extra stop and possibly get you the ball back with that chance of going to win a game. So I do like the signing. And again, there were lots of options out there for him because I know a lot of teams in the NFL could have used a corner. And I know a lot of people get turned away by the fact the injuries have been there and whatnot. But again, you never know until you put him out there and you see what he has. And again, I think at the end of the day, it's a win-win because $6 million isn't all that much to an.
I was thinking the Patriots might go nab him and add him with Gonzalez and Davis.
It would have been a good move. I mean, that would have been a good veteran core, right? And, what's Christian Gonzalez going to look like coming? I think he was injured there for a little bit in the back half of the season. We obviously know about Carlton Davis and what he's been able to do. I mean, I still think he's got a little bit left in the tank. But again, Vrabel's going to get that defense clicking.
Well, and Alexander's a corner where, when he's healthy and we saw what he was at his best, he's someone who theoretically would be a good fit for a lot of teams because what Timmy said, a lot of teams can use another corner no matter what. Like, I don't know if there's one team you look out there and you're like, you know what, we're 3 quality corners deep. Like, truly, right? Like, you can go 1, possibly 2 on some teams, but most teams will at least start getting shaky at number 3. And so I think, if you get – and for the Ravens, if he gives you 13 games of even close to what he used to be, this is still a 100% a steal of a signing, right? So, and he theoretically, even for the Chiefs, he would have came in and immediately been the second corner. So, I get what Matt's saying with that. If you have a chance to sign someone and he's going to be your number 1 or number 2, theoretically, that's a good idea. But I'm curious to see, though. Health is a big thing, and your best ability is availability. So as long as he can bring that, it should be all right.
I've been seeing, I saw some things when this was all going on that people were saying that he was making them worse than they actually were because he was angling for the deal. I don't believe that, but that's an interesting take on it.
Yeah. Timmy, do you have something?
Well, it's kind of same division, different topic. But, Joel from the 3 Guys, 6 Balls podcast and his one co-host of the week, Will, was talking about Shamar Stewart, right? And, the deal not getting done, he's holding out. It could get real ugly real quick in Cincinnati. And we all know that Cincinnati has a history of being cheap. They're not trying to pay Hendrickson, which is absolutely crazy to me. And I get because, you just spent all that money on Burrow and Higgins and Chase, but it's you still got to have defense. And not every team can be like the Philadelphia Eagles that can pay the superstars on offense but draft great defense. I mean, they drafted a defensive end that had 4.5 sacks in 3 years, for crying out loud. So my question is does a deal get done, and what is it going to take for the deal to get done? Because we're sitting here and he's already missed he's already missed OTAs, he's already missed rookie mini camp, which was very key for all rookies, to be there. It's one thing for a veteran to skip OTAs, I'll use an example, Rashawn Slater, for the Chargers, didn't go to OTAs, not as concerning. But when you have a rookie and from what I understand from what Joel's saying is it's about the contract language, and it's more in reference to if he was to get suspended, right? So it's if you're already worried about being suspended, then I don't know. That's a red flag for me.
That's interesting you bring that up because, we see the whole thing with Shedeur Sanders lately, right? He's been cited for speeding twice this month, according to reports.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's obviously, not a huge deal, but, and we see all, Rashee Rice have his whole thing, and, it is interesting to think about why they would want that, but I also at the same time would say that what I've heard also is he's arguing that it's because other former Bengals first round picks got the same language that he wants, but he's not getting it for some reason.
Yeah,
so how much do the Bengals actually believe in him?
Yeah, he's only asking for the same kind of contracts that most people in his draft position have gotten. And, most of the time I would say in the end the player would win and get what they want. But with it being the Bengals, I don't know. Because truthfully, I don't, like Tim said, they have a history of being cheap, right? So typically I would say yes, a deal gets done, but I truly don't know. Like he may be in the draft again next year.
And that's the funny part, that he can re-enter the draft next year. So, and the funny
Yeah, it's
thing
like
is,
if he doesn't play by a certain week of the season, right? Like,
yeah, and those, Sanders with his speeding tickets, like those would have violated the contract if Stewart had signed.
Now, why would you say go Brewers, man?
Go Brewers! Ha! Go Brewers!
But yeah, that's just something that I was listening to the Three Guys Six Balls podcast this morning today at work, and I was just like, wow, that's actually really interesting. So I wanted to bring it to the table here, because if he doesn't, yeah, he can go to the draft, and the only team that can't sign him or draft him, I should say, would be the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hell, and maybe they realize they messed up the draft pick, and that's what the Bengals want.
Okay,
they want to make
so
sure they don't have them, and to make sure
that
they
would
can't.
be the dumbest, stupidest, moronic thing.
Listen to who we're talking about, though. Can't you say that exact same sentence with how they've handled their defensive stars in the last couple of years? Just letting everyone
100%.
go.
Hendrickson not getting signed? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's smart. They let Jesse Bates go, one of the elite safeties in football. They let a lot of defensive people go. So I'm not saying it's smart, but, like, it's right up their alley.
So this was a question I also had on my show that I kind of propagated. How much effect on this does Zach Taylor have?
I know he's going to be feeling the pressure just based on he's going into the season on the hot seat. Like, there's no way he's not on the hot seat this year. So he's
calling the shots on this. Like, hey, I want this player, and this player. I don't want this player. I don't want this addressed.
Yeah, but if you draft a player at that point, you have to think it's a player that was agreed upon. So if he had say in the draft and he didn't want Shamar Stewart, but the team did it anyway, then the team has to follow through with their actions, right?
Right.
Because the coach has input when it comes to the draft, or you would like to think. Again, it's the Bengals. Who knows?
Well, speaking from the Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, what him and Joe Hortz does, is they're like, they see each other as this, okay? It's not a GM coach. It is both people are quote unquote GM, and Jim Harbaugh says, okay, I think this player is going to fit my scheme. And Joe's like, okay. And he's like, I've noticed that this player, could you work with this player? And Jim will say yes or no. But like they talk back and forth. And I'm sure it's the same way with his brother John in Baltimore. And I mean, shoot, we know what Kansas City does in drafts. Like Andy Reid, like, he's in there with the GM at all times. And like they have that communication. So these lower end franchises, like, yeah, the Bengals made the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, but what are they going to do now? And their defense is going to be in a mess. You're going to rely on your offense to score 50 points a game.
It's going to be like the early 2000 Chiefs, where we put up 40 points a game and lose.
And what did that get you guys? It didn't get you no Super Bowls.
No, it didn't.
So,
well, we were high flyers, but
they're riding the coattails of the Super Bowl year so hard.
Yep.
It makes you wonder, like, because like when the Bengals with Marvin Lewis, they did something similar, right? They were all in on defense, right? On offense, barely got addressed at times, right? Besides AJ Green maybe getting extended and Andy Dalton signed. But like now all of a sudden it's shifted the other way because now that they're known kind of for offense now, and they're known for Burrow and all that. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, and you would think if you're just tuning in that we were talking about the Browns. We're not. We're talking about the Bengals because I mean they're obviously both kind of ran similarly. And honestly, at this point, I would almost say the Browns are ran better than the Bengals at this point. So, Timmy, you
even drafted 2 quarterbacks,
right?
The Browns are the Browns, and they do what the Browns do, and it's really unfortunate But really, the Browns actually have not made the most bonehead moves this offseason, right? Bengals come to mind. Saints drafting Tyler Shook at 40. Passing on Shadur Sanders. And we said it on the on not this week, but on last week's episode of the War Room. And there's actually the clip. Cody got it for me. I went on record and said Saints season is already over. Like, what in the shuck were you thinking? And the season's over before it even starts. You're going to be bottom of the NFC South, and you should have drafted Sanders, but you took Shook. So you're going to have to live with that fate. And I don't know. The Browns kind of, that they had the head scratcher drafting Gabriel and drafting Shadur, but I think I agree with you, Corey. I think I would pick the Browns right now over the Bengals just because we don't know what that defense is going to be.
And that's crazy, right? We're talking about the franchise that gave the full trade package and fully guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson. But I actually think they've been okay since then, right? Like Myles Garrett all but said he wanted out. He didn't care about the money. They found a way to keep their guy, right? Like,
yeah,
they figured it out.
They just said, here's all the money that you could want anywhere else. Stay with us.
Yeah. And I will say I agree on them passing on Sanders at 40. I didn't like him first round, but the fact that you did take Tyler Shook, to me, it says I want the quarterbacks next year, because no one in their right mind is going to take him over Sanders, right? And,
well, it tells me that Kellen Moore has a specific system in mind.
There's no way Tyler Shook
there is no way that Tyler Shook fits that.
He didn't fit any system.
Think about it. Okay, think about this. What has he wanted every time when he's with Dallas or with Philly? He's always wanted a guy who's incredibly accurate. I mean, look at Dak Prescott and Hurts. They've had one of the higher completion percentages each time. And those seasons with Kellen Moore.
We're talking Dak Prescott. Don't get me started on this man.
And to me, I think he wants not only the the experience, but he also wants a guy who he thinks can be accurate. He doesn't trust Rattler at all.
Okay. I'm going to time you out right now. If he is wanting an accurate quarterback, then why did he not take Sanders? Sanders was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in all of college football. Like, if you want accuracy,
Tim,
Sanders is your guy. But if you want a big body frame, then I can understand that argument. But if you want to say accuracy, go look at his stats. Shadur Sanders' accuracy is off the charts. It was like 75-76%.
Huh? Big 12 defense?
But Sanders also threw, I think it said, like 61.
Should played in the ACC. Come on now.
Yeah.
But Shadur did also throw, I don't remember the exact number, but it was above 40% of his passes were actually behind the line of scrimmage, which bumps accuracy up. So his actual down the field accuracy, I don't know the numbers on, but there was a certain percentage of throws that were behind the line or screens.
Yeah. Okay. So my argument to that is they said the same thing about Bo Nix last year when he was coming out of Oregon, that a lot of his passes were behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, I'm not discrediting that at all. I do still think Sanders is going to would be, and is and always will be better than Tyler Shook.
Yes.
And I think Kellen Moore could have found a way to utilize Sanders way better, right? Like
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just playing devil's advocate for a hot second.
That's fair.
Now, I agree Saints not taking Sanders in the first round because I'm not sold on Sanders, right? But I don't understand at 40 when you have a choice of quarterbacks and it's Shook and Sanders, how Shook even entered the conversation.
I mean, I'd have taken Will Howard myself, but that's just me.
Oh, stop it.
I would have taken Will Howard over Shook.
Yeah.
Okay, so last season, Shadur Sanders was 353 out of 477 with a 74% completion ratio, 4,134 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, the stats are going to back up Sanders for being more accurate as far as the numbers.
Hang on.
But there was
I want to see. Okay, so Tyler Shook never once had a higher than 69% completion ratio in the whole 7 years of college. Last year, he was 244 out of 389, 3,195 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 6 picks, but 62.7%.
Okay, see right there. That might be it too.
Okay, yeah, but we all know that interceptions are not always the quarterback's fault, right? Like sometimes, the stupid receiver just can't hold on to the ball like Larry Fitzgerald used to.
Their hands.
Yeah, they want to body the freaking ball and not put their hands out to catch it. So, and I've seen
Shuck and Sanders.
Huh?
I can't believe we're actually debating Shuck and Sanders. We would have had a better debate of Marino and Rivers, guys. Like, I feel like Shuck and Sanders is like, let's debate Patrick Mahomes and like Blaine Gabbert.
Well, I mean, we're not saying either one of these quarterbacks is Patrick Mahomes.
No, I'm just saying I feel like that's the difference, though.
That's fair.
Like that gap of difference is what's here. But
I'm just saying, I think Kellen Moore.
Oh, bro! Thank you, Austin. I love you, bro. You just inspired me for my next X post.
I need a clip of him just saying, "I love you, Austin."
Huh?
I don't know if we're ever going to get that again. So we need to remember at 1 hour and 1 minute, we need to get the clip of Timmy saying, "I love you, Austin." It's a day in history, fellas.
No, right, bro, you really did. You gave me an idea for my next post over the weekend. I've got a few of them that I can cook up now. So
just make sure you give us some love on that.
Hey, absolutely.
Hey,
I mean,
I'll make if it like hits, I'll make a video and be like, my boy Austin and Corey at Shovick Sports inspired me on their live show. Huh?
And John he got the juices flowing. He started.
Yeah, John
Okay, and that got me going because I'm like, Tyler Shuck was one of the ones I had as like a dark horse. So like even I'm okay with him, but like I would have never compared him to Sanders. Like, so like him playing depth, you got the juices flowing.
Hey, just so you know, when college football is being talked, yeah, like I'm passionate about the NFL, and obviously I show the passion. You guys know in the AFC West War Room. But man, when it comes to college, like I don't even need any prep. I'm like ready to go.
That's good stuff, though. I'm glad we were able. We got a little heated, and instead of insults, I got an "I love you," and I'm going to cherish it. I am. I never thought this day would come.
So apparently, that's what we do here on
Shovick Sports. It's love.
We're bringing the strap up and strap on talk, and then we got the "I love yous." So here we
are. Rivals collide and something else happens.
Yeah. So, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. I really do appreciate. I know you guys have stuff that you're also trying to do tonight, and again, we're taking next week off as well. Timmy and I are gonna do our top 5 college.
Man, I can sit here. My lady went to go swim at her parents' house. I got nothing but time, but I mean, if you guys got to go, you guys got to go.
I'm going to try to get some videos from last night's stuff sent out to you guys so we can have stuff posted for those. So, John, I really do appreciate you accepting the invite on short notice.
John he.
John he. I was talking with Tim last night after the War Room, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to reach out, and we're going to get you guys on the show tomorrow. So I know it was late notice, but I'm glad you were able to. Tim, you always have a seat here. Obviously, we'll never not have a seat for you. Matt, whenever you want to come back on, get away from the War Room for a little bit.
Our adopted brother, always.
Hey, I feel like I'm brother. Like I at this point, like I'm just gonna start calling myself adopted brother. Like we're all just. I guess we're all just brothers at the War Room.
I'm perfectly fine with that. That's perfectly good. So,
wait, am I the oldest? So that would make me brother number 1.
No, Cody's the dad because he never came back with milk.
But he did come back, so
that's true. He forgot the milk, though.
He did forget the milk.
Where'd he go, liar?
Yeah. So, Timmy, remind everybody where they can find you on social.
Guys, all the socials. Answer the call. COLL. Also on Spotify, guys. So episodes there, full episodes. YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. X is starting to take off. And I'm doing a lot of interesting posts over on X, so definitely. But all socials, answer the call, COLL. And one last thing, talk ball with Answer the Call.
And Mr. Hee Hee, give us your socials.
Well, you can find me pretty much anywhere on social media, Instagram, TikTok, X. Yeah, I'm even on Blue Sky and Instagram and Spotify, Apple, YouTube. That's where all my long form content is. I'm gonna post an episode hopefully tomorrow. So yeah, watch out for that as well. And we cover all things soccer and NFL football from both sides of the pond. So
Love that. So again, and thank you to everybody in the chat tonight. You guys were awesome. You guys got
Thank you, Shovengers.
Thank you, Shovengers. We really do appreciate all of you guys. If you want to be a Shovenger, make sure you guys come follow us on Instagram, come follow us on X, YouTube, TikTok, and we will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. But make sure you guys follow Tim and I and Pitch Grid. We are doing our top 5 college football stadiums next week, Timmy and I.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to show you guys that. And who
That'll be
knows?
on Instagram, YouTube.
And who knows? Maybe
Facebook.
John and I can come up with an idea, and we get something going after that. So
for
for all of you guys that tuned in tonight, thank you, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.